Hey there everybody, hope your day is going well. Jared Old School Gaming here, and welcome back to another Wild Wednesday. This time, yeah, you would think that a professional, company, I guess, you think some kind of professional company that has its own YouTube channel would be smart enough to know that video game addiction is not a thing. It isn't. It just plain isn't. Okay, and you think maybe like someplace like Mayo Clinic would be smart enough to pull their heads out of their own in order to realize that, but apparently not. So yeah, I mean, this thing is only 1 minute long, but you can damn well be sure I'm going to be making the most of this entire minute to however the hell long this ends up being. So yeah, so let's, I mean, I'm definitely going to be abbreviating the title because YouTube only allows so much for a title of a video. But yeah, the full title is The Mayo Clinic Minute, 3 tips on what to do if your child is addicted to gaming. I don't know, maybe pull your head out of your ass and realize that video games are not an addiction.
Dr. Paul Corkin, Mayo Clinic child psychiatrist, says it's normal for kids to want to play video games.
I would argue that it's normal for someone of any age to want to play video games as a method of escape. And here the thing is, playing video games actually requires interaction. It requires some kind of input from the player. Unless it's Pokemon Pinball, just sitting there for 3 ages while it plays with itself. And I'm not even joking about that. That's ugh. And anyway, enough about the aneurysm inducer. Playing video games is not a bad thing. Let me just say that, okay? Playing video games is not a bad thing, especially for teenagers who can go out and do who the hell knows what. But let me guess, because video games are bad, you need to micromanage and control your children and tell them to go out and do drugs. Oh, wait, hold on. Is that not what we want?
But parents should pay attention to lines being crossed into addiction.
Playing the games all night long, abandoning things that used to be a source of great enjoyment. Schoolwork, friendships, sports.
Sports. Okay, so what about those of us who have asthma, you ass for hat? I could use a few other choice words, but I don't want to have to spend that much longer editing this. So, okay, friendships. There are plenty of friendships that can spawn from playing video games. I mean, hell, when I was a teenager and in school, I would often talk about, the different video games that I would be playing, and my friends, having the same interest that I do, would also be playing those games. We'd give each other, tips on how to do certain things or how to get past certain levels. As for schoolwork, who the hell actually enjoyed that? I mean, For me, it wasn't always an enjoyment, it was just easy, because I actually paid attention to what the hell the teacher said. And another thing, crossing the line into addiction? Are you seriously that stupid? Video games are not an addiction. They are a distraction. You mentioned, staying out all night playing games? Yes, but that is not so much the video games itself. That is light, and not blue light. I mean that's something else entirely. Just light in general. And honestly, I wish I had realized when I was a teenager that it was all light keeping me up, because most of my teenage years there was a certain light just outside of my window. It was one of those street lights, and it would keep me awake because it would turn on. And then eventually it would turn off to, I don't know, preserve the bulb, or I don't know why streetlights turn off and then randomly turn back on throughout the night. But it would essentially just go off and turn back on, go off and turn back on. And I remember staying awake, just oh god damn it, why the hell is that light still on? And I wish I had known as a teenager that light in general was just keeping me up, and I would have asked my mother, hey, can I get some kind of a blindfold or something that, something soft to go around, all the way around, some kind of eye mask, just to go all the way around my head and cover my eyes so I can actually sleep. That's what the problem most likely is. Not because of video games, because of light in general. That's more of a light going into the brain type of thing. Just the brain recognizes, hey, there is light, so the brain doesn't initiate a sleep cycle immediately until all light goes out.
Dr. Corkin says gaming addiction can often be a sign of a broader mental health issue like anxiety or depression.
Really? Really? Anxiety? Depression? Dear God, how stupid can you be? Okay. Wanting to unwind at the end of a day, no matter what your day was. Because, I mean, some days you get home and you're full of energy, you can get stuff done. Other days you get home, it's just, holy crap, I put way too much of myself out today. I'm tired. I'm just going to lay down for a quick little nap. And the planned half-hour nap turns into 7 hours later. We've all done that. We've all done that. We just gotten home and went, okay, let me... Hell, doesn't even have to be on a bed. It can just be like sitting down in a chair, just go, okay, you know what? I'm going to spend a few minutes just laying here and then... And then you wake up 7 hours later. Oh, crap, there was so much I wanted to get done, but I just slept all my time away. Well, that sucks. But the point I'm getting at, the point I'm actually getting at is wanting to unwind. Essentially, sitting down for that nap is the start of the unwind. But sometimes people just, sit down and go, okay, the day is over, I'm home. Let me unwind real quick. And for some people, maybe it's a little bit of exercise. Some people, maybe it's reading a book or watching TV or watching a movie. But video games are not the problem, okay? Video games are simply a way to unwind. And if you think someone is addicted, maybe pull your head out of your ass and realize that they do not consume the video game. Unless you're saying that people who get distracted by TV are just addicted to television, or addicted to reading a book, or addicted to exercise, or some bullcrap like that.
He says there are 3 important things parents who think their child is addicted to gaming should do.
Let me guess. Micromanage every single aspect of your child's life and tell them to piss off outside where they can be introduced to drugs by a complete stranger who they will listen to because that complete stranger says that they're willing to listen to them, whereas you told them to piss off and go outside. Oh, wait, did that get a little too real for some people?
Number 1, communication is key.
It's a time to get more involved in the teenager's life and try to open up more channels of communications and really get a handle on what's going on in their life.
Almost. You're almost there. You're literally 2 sentences away. In order to open up the lines of communication, ask them about the game. Learn about the game and say, hey, can we play a game together so that way I can understand why you enjoy this so much? It's not really that hard. And this whole situation of, no, get out. Like I said, they'll meet a stranger on the street corner who will introduce them to drugs. I guarantee it.
Number 2, it's important for parents to establish rules about screen time and stick to them. If teenagers aren't meeting basic family expectations, Dr. Corkin says internet time and devices should be treated as a privilege.
Again, you're almost there. You're almost there. You don't treat your children like they're idiots, okay? Because children absolutely will feel that way if they just well, you're just doing this, you're just doing that. Well, then talk to them. I guarantee you they are willing to listen if you just say, hey, can I talk to you face to face? Can you give me your undivided attention as I would give you my undivided attention? And explain to them the concept of money. Don't just rely on school to teach your kids every single thing that you think they should know. You need to teach them just as much. Explain to them that you went to work and you did all this stuff all damn day, and then you came home and you started doing things to just maintain upkeep at the home, and ask them to contribute to the upkeep of the home. And I guarantee you that will go over a hell of a lot smoother and a hell of a lot easier than just, well, you need to do this because blah 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 blah. No, just say, hey, this is what I'm doing when I'm home. This is how I'm maintaining things around here. Can you please help by doing dishes, or mowing the lawn, or picking up after the dog? I mean, hell, those are all things that I did as a teenager. But I hated it because it was just, you need to go do this, you need to go do that. No, ask for some help instead of demanding it. I can guarantee you, in any situation, and not just in family situations, but in any situation, you can get a hell of a lot further by asking, please, can you do this, instead of, you better go do that.
And number 3, don't be afraid to get them professional help. For the Mayo Clinic News Network, I'm Ian Roth.
Are you kidding me right now? What the hell do you mean get them professional help? They do not need professional help because of video games, okay? As I said at the beginning, the video games are not an addiction. Video games are not the problem. Oh dear God, Okay, listen here, asshat, and to any other asshat that decides that, oh, well, I just need to stop my kids from playing video games and everything will be fine. They're still gonna find a way. Okay, and let me explain something to you. Okay, well, and I'm probably gonna have to explain this a number of times. Video games are not an addiction. Okay, I have gone days, weeks, months without playing a single video game because I know where my priorities lie. My priorities lie in making sure everything around me is stable before I pick up a video game. I mean, hell, back in high school, I was like one of maybe 10 kids that I could guarantee was not on some type of drug. And I'm not talking just about nicotine. There were plenty of kids that openly and loudly bragged that they were on some, that they went home, they went to, or they, maybe not home, but they went to some party and drank a bunch of alcohol. And I'm not talking about the 3-2 piss water beer. I mean hard alcohol, like whiskey and vodka. And they were openly bragging about drinking that shit. And not just the alcohol, but hardcore drugs. More than just marijuana. They were into some hardcore stuff. And they openly talked about it as if it was some kind of badge of honor. Me, I grew up watching family members get deep into that. So I decided I'm never touching that. And then hearing them brag about it as if it's some type of badge of honor, I'm just, well, hey, I don't control your life, but honestly, I think you're an idiot for doing that stuff. Because you know what I did when I got home? I played video games for a few hours. And I didn't do drugs. I was in a controlled environment where my parents could see me. And my mother often bitched and whined that I was always playing video games, and it's just like, yeah. Would you rather I went out and started smoking or snorting some weird shit? Because I can guarantee you that's exactly what teenagers who are not at home in a controlled environment being watched by their parents, I can guarantee you that's what those other teenagers are doing. Now, let me explain what an addiction actually is, okay? Like nicotine. Nicotine is absolutely an addiction. Okay, I can't say exactly where I was working. It was my rent-a-cop job. And there was one night when back when I was still smoking, because at the time of recording this, it's going to be, 2 years without smoking, and then by the time it comes out, it'll be officially 2 years nicotine-free, because I was on the nicotine patch for a little while, before I finally just quit. So yay for 2 years of having that crap done and over with. But there was one particular night, back when I was still smoking, that I had forgotten my lighter. And I had no lighter in my car. The coworker I was working with that night didn't smoke at all, so he didn't have a lighter. I was this close to actually leaving, going I think it was 3-4 miles down the road to the corner store. So that way I could just grab a lighter and then come right back, just so I could get my fix. I was that damn close. And honestly, if I had, and then I had gotten caught, I would have lost my job. That is an addiction. When you are willing to sacrifice that which keeps a roof over your head just to get your next fix. Thankfully, I was actually just about to leave when I ran across some people who were just coming in. It was like before the beginning of the shift. There was a handful of people that were setting things up. And I asked them, hey, is there any one of you that has a lighter I can borrow for just a few minutes? And the small group I had asked, they said, no, none of them. But there is someone that just went to a designated smoke area around the corner. Go ask them to borrow. And yeah, I ran around, and so technically I didn't leave the property. That's what I'm looking for. I didn't leave the property, but I was still there and I was still doing my job, I went around and I found the person. He let me borrow his lighter, and I got my fix. That is an addiction. Because I needed that fix. Or, well, I suppose I didn't need it. But my brain was firing just like, okay, if I speed down the road and then speed on back, I can be there and back before anyone notices I'm gone. Thankfully, I didn't leave. Because, like I said, if I had gotten caught leaving, then I would have lost my job. Guarantee it. At least now, I don't have to worry about that because I don't smoke anymore. And as for any idiot who still believes that video game addiction is a real thing, pull your head out of your ass. Seriously. Video games are not an addiction. Nicotine is an addiction. Here's the difference, okay? It is more than just consumption. It is when you literally are willing to sacrifice everything. And yes, okay, there are occasional people who get so absorbed into a game that they become a news headline because they are literally sacrificing anything and everything just to keep playing the game. There are people who lose their jobs, lose their significant others, lose their homes. Those are the very few and far between. Very, very few and far between. But they get all the attention because it's such a shock value headline. Okay, well, that... At least it was over and done with quick. They didn't spend like 5 minutes going over the same exact points of quote-unquote addiction that doesn't exist. Yeah, so I will hope to catch you in the next video, wherever that might be. I've got to get moving and get going. So yeah, I will hope to catch you there. Don't forget to smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't hit that bell so you can always be notified whenever I upload another video. Don't forget to follow me and my other social media linked down in the description. And as always, have fun.